Howard Stern used to be the guy the establishment wanted off the air, and they really tried. Stern built an empire by being offensive.
I am Batman!
The FCC hated him, politicians complained about him, activists complained about him, and it wasn't exactly hard to see why. The show featured the Whack Pack, with star-studded characters like Beetlejuice,
You got your own life, I got my life. Don't worry about who I am.
and High-Pitch Eric,
My voice is very entertaining, and when people hear my voice, they think I'm kidding, but I'm not. It's my real voice.
while also interviewing people like a former Grand Dragon of the KKK. In 1985, WNBC fired him after years of complaints about his content. A decade later, Infinity Broadcasting paid a massive settlement over FCC indecency cases involving Stern's show. And somehow all this just made him even more famous. Because that was the entire point of Howard Stern. He wasn't supposed to represent respectable institutional opinion. He was politically incorrect before politically incorrect was even a term people threw around. Stern even ran for governor of New York in 1994 as a libertarian, and his platform was surprisingly simple, the kind of stuff that actually resonates with the common man.
I'm going to fix the roadways at night, I'm going to stagger tolls, and I am going to bring back the death penalty. Once that's accomplished, I'll step down, and I will let my lieutenant governor take over.
But then his campaign hit a roadblock. New York required him to submit the same financial disclosure as every other candidate, and Howard Stern decided he'd rather drop out than tell the government how much money he had. That might be the most Howard Stern political campaign imaginable, and around the same period, Stern had a certain recurring guest on his show, Donald Trump himself. They talked about women, money, sex, pretty much everything normal guys talk about with their friends. For years, the relationship was friendly. Then Trump entered politics and things began to change. Stern became increasingly hostile towards him, eventually endorsing Hillary Clinton and practically begging her to come on his show. Then COVID happened, and the guy who spent decades fighting government authority suddenly became one of its loudest defenders. Stern strongly defended vaccination. He attacked Trump, he attacked election fraud claims, he spoke out in support of transgender people, and eventually a lot of his longtime listeners started using one particular word to describe him: woke. In 2023, Stern finally addressed it, and rather than reject the label, he embraced it.
If woke means I can't get behind Trump, which is what I think it means, or that I support people who want to be transgender, or I'm for the vaccine, dude, call me woke as you fucking want.
Now, Howard Stern was never secretly some lifelong Republican, even if a huge portion of his audience leaned that way during his prime. But what's remarkable is that America's most infamous shock jock eventually embraced the exact culture war label his longtime audience was now using against him. Perhaps it was some newfound liberal guilt, a need to compensate for his old controversial material, like the many times he appeared in blackface. But maybe it's as simple as this: people change. Some just change while trying to fit in with whatever happens to be popular in that moment, and unfortunately the anti-establishment shock jock now fits right in.